course, there was a LAN prior to this event, and we saw members of Space Station go on to win that entire LAN, go on to beat the likes of Shopify Rebellion. But Rebellion have come back with a vengeance and say, well, maybe we'll win the ones that matter.
I love that nickname, the Megalodon. Who came up with the Megalodon?
Oh, it's been going on for a while. Because it obviously has like my name on it. Even before I matched up, I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to wake up the Megalodon. He's gonna be mad. Bound was talking crap, especially him. And Tuss said something after the Orlando LAN. He had said something like, oh, but I can't shoot back. And like, he got me so ticked off. I had this killer mindset that like, I think like all three of them said it. The Renegade said it, Bounce said it, and Lenny said it. I just took it personal, and like, I went to the Atlanta event, I was like, we're not losing.
2 seconds. 1. Rebellion. Clean sweep.
They woke the Megalodon, man. Like they got me mad.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tide the Leader. Mikowski. Joining you alongside me is my duo from 05, Eli the Ninja. And today on the show, our next guest has been busy cementing his status as Halo's main slayer at HES London. He earned his highest placing as a competitor, all while leading his team to their highest placing. Yet it's been impossible to hold our next guest in check. Suppressed. Donnie, welcome to the show. How are you doing, brother?
Doing good. I mean, thank you guys for having me on the show. I mean, this is crazy, man. Like, you know, coming back from London, we got third place finish, and then receiving that main slayer award, it just feels good. Definitely feels good.
Not the first time, actually, but we'll get into that timeline a little bit later. You've been that dude for a little while. I think you're now starting to get your flowers, which is really cool to see. Congrats and big ups to you, not only on your personal achievement at London, but bringing the team along on the ride. You guys really had a hell of a show. Usually we actually start the show with the beginning of that timeline, but with London being so recent, we wanted to just get right into it. So you guys went on a tear Friday and Saturday. What kind of preparation going into London allowed you guys to jump out to such a fast start?
I mean, for us, for Shopify, Rebellion, and Halo, I mean, we went to Orlando. We got a little bit of practice there, and then what like mainly helped us for us is that we had a boot camp for like, I think it was like 6-7 days over at the Shopify headquarters. So I mean, we had a lot of practice there. We watched a lot of VOD. You know, things we needed to work on. We went over people's strats, you know, what their tendencies are and stuff like that. So it really helped us out a lot going into London. I felt like we were more than like prepared, especially because we scrim the big three. I know like scrims sometimes teams don't try or like it's online, this and that. Usually when we scrim them, the big three, they try like really hard. So we know like what they're trying to do on the map, and they know exactly what we're trying to do on the map. So helps us out a lot.
Yeah, Eli and I, we had a chance to cast your gameplay at the LBC Orlando LAN. You guys went in as the heavy favorites to that tournament, but ultimately got second place to a pickup squad. Granted, it was a pickup squad, half SSG, Tusk, and Renegade, so it feels a little unfair to say that's a pickup team at some local LAN. It really was more than that, which was really cool. You guys made it more than that. You guys being there as a full team of 4 made that really special. So I appreciate you and the organization for sending you guys out to Orlando. But what was your mindset after losing to a quote unquote pickup team 1 week before London?
For me personally, I just think it was cheese. Like I think that tournament was like, man, I appreciate LVT for hosting that LAN event, of course, but I think there were so many problems like with the audio and the headsets. I even brought my own like TRX mix amp, like the latest one, and I plugged it in onto the computer, and I put in my actual mic too. And I'm thinking like it's gonna work perfectly fine, and nothing worked. So I had to revert back to the Duramax they were using at the local LAN, and it was just so many problems. But I mean, they ultimately like they got the dub. You know what I'm saying? They're a great team. But after that, I mean, they were talking a lot of crap after that LAN event.
Even during, I mean, Bound was letting you guys know about it.
Yeah, Bound was getting like after that Aquarius game, it's just like yeah, we lost. Like I feel like that got them a lot of momentum. After that, it was like I believe it was like 4-1, like with like a minute and a half left or 2 minutes, something like that, and
Yeah.
like they caught up and won. It's a huge momentum killer, and plus like they caught up, and like that's what like kept on going throughout the series. We lost 0-3, win the grands, we reset it, and we lose like 4-2, I believe. But I mean, after all that, I mean, with the mindset like going into London, like I was just like they woke the Megalodon, man. Like they got me mad, especially because Bound was talking crap, especially him, and Tuss said something after the Orlando land. He had said something like, "Oh, but I can't shoot back," and like or something like that, right? And like he got me so ticked off, and like I don't know, I had this killer mindset that like I think like all three of them said it. Like it's not just Tuss that said it. I think that like Renegade said it, Bound said it, and Legend said it, and like I just took it personal, and like I went to the Atlanta event, I was like, we are not losing. So I mean, it was just it was just a good experience.
I love that. People always come to me. I mean, for whatever reason, they want my opinion on different things, and people kept saying, like, don't you think it was silly for Shopify to go to Orlando and like now they're gonna lose their confidence? And I just every time somebody said something like to me, I was like, are you stupid? Like this, if anything, for them to lose is a good thing because it's gonna piss them off. They're gonna work harder going into London. They also went through some adversity, like you said. There was a few tech issues at the LAN center. It's a brand new LAN center, so it's kind of expected, I think. So, but you guys also got to play on LAN for the first time post network update, which we know feels a bit different than LAN felt before. So it's like you're getting experience. You're figuring out, okay, maybe on LAN now I need to change my settings. Like there's so many positives. Like just because you lost doesn't mean you're not growing immensely as a team, or in this case, you know, getting kind of a chip on your shoulder to want to beat them even more going into London. So yeah, I saw it as all around a good thing for you guys. And I love that nickname, the Megalodon. I don't think I've heard anybody say that before. Who started that?
Oh, it's been going on for a while. Like my teammates, Native Red. Even before then, I used to say it because it obviously has like my name on it. So like I said it one time, and like I don't know, like pro players like say it, or even my teammates say it. Then like I even make jokes about it too. Like even before I matches up, I was like, "Damn, I'm gonna have to wake up the Megalodon. He's gonna be mad."
I love that, bro.
This alter ego that you bring out on when the moment needs it.
Basically, yeah, that's pretty much what that means. So
that's awesome. Well, ultimately, you guys would end up going head to head with your online rival SSG in the winners semifinals, where you swept them 3-0. You put the Halo World on notice with that series. It kind of felt like.
Cycle's gonna keep jiggle peeking. Legend gets a kill. Eco another. He's gonna try and force this one home. Is mental and gets it. 4 dead for SSG. One more kill required.
One more, and it's just going to be finding those spawners, calling it out. Where is the last player? And they see him. They've heard him, and Soul Snipe gets it. It's Shopify Rebellion. Find themselves 1 minute 54, and Rebellion, they can use it to their advantage. Force Space Station into the hill, and then start to surround them. And Suppressed again, putting the sniper to good use. Oh! One more! Just for good luck, 4 are dead! And Rebellion, they can taste that winner's final.
How have they done enough? Mental gets one more. They're in the hill. And they're out of the hill just as quick. Cycle throws nades. Legend desperately tucks his tail between his legs and hopes for the best praise. But here comes the collapse from Rebellion. And they send them home. They send them down the chute. 2 seconds. 1. Rebellion. Clean sweep.
What did it feel like to get that win? Because it felt like everyone discredited you guys going in between Arlington and London. They said all of your success was fool's gold. It was all done online. It's not for real. But now you not only do it on LAN, but you looked better on LAN against SSG than you did online in that series. How'd you guys do it, and what did it feel like?
For SSG, I mean, we had a lot of matches going against them in the online qualifier, and we know exactly how they play. It's just like straight head on, like it's like Gunny versus Gunny. But I mean, if you just like use better teamwork, you know, small talk better, and say what we want to work for at all times, it just like it makes the game easier. So I mean, obviously they're a great team. They were the defending champs from last event, but I mean, it just when you have a lot of practice, especially on online qualifiers, that actually like means something. Like, I know it's online Halo, but it actually means something. Like, they're trying just as hard as us. So, I mean, we came in the Atlanta event, and we just knew the like expectations from all of us, from each other. So
I was curious about like how far in advance. I mean, I know Best Man's your coach, and Best Man and I go way back to the Halo 2 days. Used to team together back then. I just know the way he thinks about the game and like his preparation. Like how early on were you guys looking ahead to that SSG series and like knew the game types to start preparing for it? Because you guys played what 30 games against each other in the online cups across like the span of what like 4 days, something insane. During
Right.
you guys have played every single game type against some guy like in tournament and scrims. So I feel like when you look ahead to the bracket, like okay, we're playing them in these 5 game types. Like how much prep went into specifically countering them in those game types?
with every game that we played, we actually talked about like like certain game types. We knew exactly what player, what their tendencies were. Like, let's say for Pit, for instance, like Pit Flag, right? Like, we would talk about it and be like, and I'll like say something, or anyone in the team would say something, and be like, "Yo, Legend likes to hit up long. Like, he likes to go long, like right away. Like, that's his only play." Or like a certain player on SG would go runway to like create a pinch and stuff like that. So we actually went over the game types, like over every single map that we did. And we just talked about what we wanted to do and what they were trying to do. So like I said, they're a really great team. They could switch up anytime. I mean, we've seen it with Quadrant SSG. It's just like, when you're playing them, like you don't ever want to like let your foot off the gas pedal, because like when you think you have the W, it's like you really don't.
You guys had a lot of success on Saturday. A lot of people said that, if the tournament continued on Saturday, you guys might have just won the whole thing because you guys just looked so good that day. Sunday comes around. It's a little bit of a different story. You guys actually came out super hot at the beginning of Solitude King, but then there was a reset, like a 20 or 30-minute break. It felt like a very long break before you guys restarted that game. Do you feel like that was a huge momentum killer for you guys, that first game on Sunday?
I mean, definitely. I mean, when you're up 1-0 and it's like a grueler first hill on Plaza, first hill is always gonna be a grueler. Whoever grabs camo, shock. It's just like like, even if you kill camo, right, it's still a grueler, because like they can go driveway, right? We spawn blue, they can go driveway and just beam the hill guys. So it's like it's a grueler. That's exactly what happened for like 2 minutes straight, and then we finally get the hill. And then we go up. As soon as I get the hill, I go up Prius to driveway, and I start capping the second hill right away. Like, I'm there before like the timer is like there to set to start capping. It's just all of a sudden like I hear like admins, and then I look up front. I'm like, dude, these guys are literally saying that they have audio issues. But I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just like you couldn't send anything like right, or at least like a minute into the game. Like, you had to say something when I'm halfway capping the second cap. I mean, like I said, like FaZe is a great team. It just like, kills your momentum, especially like when you go up or about to go up 2-0.
We talked to Boo Boo recently. I know you're close friends with him. And he was mentioning, he had a couple audio issues. Their team had those, and it also messed with their momentum a little bit. And he talked about like what they learned as a team is like sometimes you just gotta like take a breather and like reset, re-rack. Like there's almost like a meta outside of the game in those big moments. Do you feel like next time you guys might take a little bit of extra time between maps when things start going south like that?
Yeah, I mean, I already talked about it. I mean, I already said to like the team stuff, we just need to like walk out. All 4 of us and Nick, we just need to all walk out, go in the huddle, and just talk about stuff. Don't let it bother us. Like, don't let it kill our momentum, because like we were trying really hard to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let one thing ruin it. And that's like ultimately what it is. I feel like us sitting there for 40 minutes, like I was literally shooting bots for like 20, 30 minutes. It's just annoying because like, I'm already warmed up, I'm ready to go, and then that happens, and then like we gotta wait another 40 minutes. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, we just gotta like talk about stuff, what they were trying to do, that map, you know what I'm saying, and then let the dice roll. I don't know. Like, I think for next time we're gonna be better prepared. We're gonna go in a huddle, we're gonna talk about stuff, what they were trying to do that first map. how important it is, like, for that first hill, especially because, like, you can get camo and shock, and that's exactly what they did, and they could blow the lead wide open. So
Yep.
they got that first cap, got second cap. We didn't even get a tick, I believe. Like, we kept spawning S1 in blue, and then they capped the second hill, like, with no ticks. Like, us getting no ticks, so it's just like, wow. Like, you can do a lot with that first hill, so.
The actual setup of the London main stage caused a lot of, I guess, stir. Like some people saying they hated it, some people saying they loved it. What did you think about the setup, and what would you suggest HCS do to create the best version of a Halo main stage?
This event, it was actually pretty cool because you had people like really close to you. Like, obviously, you wouldn't want the people like close to you, seeing your monitor and stuff. But like, it actually felt like like the old days. Like, I'm sure you guys been there, done that. But it felt really good because you could literally hear people screaming, like even words, kind of, like people screaming in the mic. I could pick it up like from my other teammates' mics too. So it felt really good. The event was actually like one of the intense events that I've actually had because I could hear the optic chant, the drums. So it's like a lot of stuff going on.
It was like a trumpet too, like it's like a drum and trumpet.
The whole ska band
Hey,
came
that's what I'm
through.
saying. Am I in high school or something? like the whole band on the stands or something. Like, oh my god.
That's pretty epic. I mean, I don't know. Definitely wasn't expecting to see that because obviously we were casting it from home. We weren't physically there, but we got to see it on the broadcast. Like when Quadrant was playing, they were popping off with the drums, and
Man, the fans were nuts.
Yeah, they were going crazy.
statistically at HCS London, you were awarded the top Slayer with a KD of 1.29. But this wasn't your first time. You've actually been that guy for some time now, placing third in kill death at Arlington, even finishing first in kill death at the Charlotte kickoff last season. How are you able to consistently be a top Slayer across two starting weapons with the BR and the Bandit?
Everything that I've been on is just like they allow me to do what I have to do around the map. They sometimes go as far as like giving me the weapons. Especially my old teams. They I mean, obviously, like, I'm with a really good team, so you know what I'm saying, I depend on my teammates just as much as like I do on myself. But back like when I used to team, Fnatic, Complexity, it's just like, yo, Donnie, take this. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like they'll have like a sniper rifle and a heat wave, and then just like pass me one power weapon. So it's just like that. Having good teammates that actually play around you, plays a huge part too. When I get this, or whenever I'm at the top or whatever in the KD thing, I'm not thinking, yo, I'm gonna play for stats. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what I do. I actually like I do OBJ when it's like needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I actually was a stat, I'd probably would have 0 seconds or like 2 seconds of ball time, like most of those games back back in the day when I was like year two. I just try to live my life more. I try to get kills. I try to be in the play as much as I can with my team, and try to always like play for the win for my team. But
I think you also just like happen to control the sandbox better, so you've usually got a better gun than your opponent, and then on top of that, you're not really missing many shots when you're locked all the way in. I feel like when you're at the highest part of your game, like, bro, you're just not missing. I don't know. It seems so hard to play against. I've played against you in matchmaking a handful of times too, and it's just like, can this guy finally miss a shot for one time? I kill you like one time out of 5 engagements, and I'm like celebrating. I'm like, yes, I fucking killed this guy. Like, but I think that's just the pressure you apply to the map. You're correct. You're surrounded by an amazing team. I think we'll talk a bit more about them a bit later.
All right, so great insight and information. Great to hear your thoughts as they're still fresh coming back from London. But let's start to backtrack a little bit here towards the origins. How did you get into gaming, and how did you ultimately come up with your gamer tag?
We actually used to play Halo 2. With me and my brothers, obviously, I'm a triplet, and then my 2 older brothers. So we had like this green Xbox, or it was like the black and then like the OG like green little circle in the middle. We used to have that Xbox, and then we would play like on those big controllers. I mean, my hands were small, so it was like kind of hard to like, it was like really hard to shoot. But we used to always play like 2v2s competitively, not online or anything like that, just split screen. Us playing Halo was just like, it was really fun. You know what I'm saying? I used to play on this map. I remember it was like a purple spire with like rocks around it. There was like a pelican on it. and then oh my god, and there's like a Warhog on it too. You could drive around. It's so big.
Was
but,
this Halo 3? I think it's a Halo
no,
3 map.
it was Halo 2.
Was it Relic?
I think it was Relic. It used to have that sniper rifle carbine. Or
Yeah,
it was
the
like
beam rifle.
Beam.
the beam
yeah.
rifle. There you go. Yeah, I think it was Relic.
It was on a beach, right? Had some Forerunner structures.
Yeah, there we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
it was Relic.
But yeah, it was such a fun time around that time. But then ultimately, like, I'm not gonna lie here. I played COD more than Halo. Like, I was actually a COD kid. COD was just like really fun to play. Especially with like all like people talk about it all the time with like nostalgia about like Modern Warfare 2, 3, Black Ops, zombies, stuff like that. So that was kind of like my thing until like Reach like came around. I used to play like pubs all the time, and then like I used to play MLG too. And then always play like ones or twos with my brothers against like some top pros like. But it was just really fun playing, like those games. Sorry, there's just like a lot of balloons near me. I go through a little surprise thing when I came back. I'm just like, all right,
The boomerang.
Oh my god, bro. No, but so following that, I believe there was like a Halo Reach event like out in Anaheim. It was back in like when COVID started. So like oh my god, bro. I'm gonna flip out. Hopefully they don't move, dude. I'll just keep it right there. Okay, I remember specifically saying, like, I'm gonna like try to like win this FFA event, right? And like Andrew was like bugging because he had like I don't think he had money at the time or that much money to actually go to the event because the tickets were there were like I believe they were like 100, 150 or something. I don't know. I don't remember, but they're pretty expensive. We go like right before I'm getting ready to leave, so I enter the car like in my dad's Camry because I didn't have a car or anything. I told him, all right, bro, like before I leave, are you sure you don't want to go? So right, and he's like, nah, I don't want to go. Dude, I'm in the car. Like I start up the car, my dad's car, and it's like a 2005 Camry. I start it up. I'm like almost getting ready to drive, and I see him coming out. Like I see Drew coming out. And I'm like, bro, do you want to go or not? And he's like, yes. So he makes up his mind. We go to the event. Yes, dude. This happens. This is real stuff. We go to the event, right? And mind you, we don't have a hotel, anything. We didn't buy anything. So we came in like, yo, we either gonna sleep in this car or we're gonna go all the way back home 2 hours. Because we live at like, ultimately like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the Anaheim event. So
And which year Anaheim was this again?
this was 2020.
2020, okay,
Halo
wow.
Reach, I believe that Halo Reach 4v4 was happening too on PC. We get through Friday. Saturday's like, the semis, stuff like that. So I'm digging, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, I'm gonna win this. I actually like don't go far. Like I actually lose like the round before finals. Like you get to finals. So like I lost, right? Is what it is. And then Sunday comes around and like pretty much they had like all these good FFA players, and then there's Drew or Diagram. You know what I'm saying? He's in the finals. I'm just like rooting for him. I'm sitting in the stands like 10 a.m. 11 a.m. because they had the FFA before the 4v4, and like Andrew actually won it. Like I was screaming, I was like, "Let's go, Drew!"
Almost an over that we talked about. It almost has struck. He's down by 2. He needs a big double kill here, but another one comes in for Diagram, so he's down by 3 with 5 seconds left. That will secure it, and that will ensure that Diagram is your free-for-all champion here at DreamHack Anaheim.
Yeah, and like I don't know if you guys remember that story, but or like not story, but like it was on stream, and then I ended up like Drew ended up saying to Wes, like I didn't want him to say that. He said it to Wes and Bravo. He was just like, yeah, I mean, we actually didn't come here with a hotel or anything, so we just kind of just slept in the car. Yeah, I didn't want him to say it because it's like embarrassing us, but like
I think that's an experience that resonates with a lot of people in the Halo community. I think a lot of us slept in cars and on floors just to do anything we could to be a part of it.
Some people slept in a bathtub in those hotel rooms back in the day. You'd have like 8 people cramming into one hotel room. They could split it 8 different ways. One guy's sleeping in the bathtub.
Windowsill. Windowsill's a great spot.
You guys did what you had to do to get there. So yeah, I don't think that's embarrassing.
Andrew said he was gonna give me like a cut of the pay cut or some part of the money. I was like, no, bro, I don't want it. Like you want it all. Like I know I drove you here, I paid for your ticket and stuff, but just reimburse me for like the ticket and like maybe the gas and like some of the food, and that's it. Because I was paying for everything. I had like a job, I had like money, like income, a regular day job, and like he didn't really have that much money. But I ultimately I did the right thing because he came out with the dub. So
And he wasn't even going to go.
yeah, he wasn't even gonna go. Literally seconds before I'm getting ready to drive, he won it all. So it's just like
You don't look in your rearview mirror and Diagram doesn't get the W at this free for all.
yeah,
in
I mean,
Anaheim.
I literally said it. I literally said it to him. I was just like, "Yo, listen, bro. Like, someone won it in this car. Like, if I didn't win it, you won it." After the 4v4 event, when Jesse won, we were like, "Yo, congrats!" Like, hey Jesse, can we get a picture? Or obviously he's Booba so we were like, hey Booba Falcated, can we get a picture?
Wow.
We watch your streams all the time. Like, can we
Yeah.
get a picture? And we knew like Boo Boo, like watching the streams, he was like this lollygaggy kind of guy. Like he wasn't like as serious. I'm not saying he's not serious all the time, but I'm saying like, you know what I'm saying, you can tell he's like that.
He's goofy.
Yeah, he's goofy.
He
so
said it
like,
himself. You know, he stays true to himself. I think that's why a lot of people love him.
and that's why, I mean, at the time, you know, before we actually, man, we loved him. We loved Boo Boo and Falcated, and yeah, so we actually like got their autographs and pictures, and yeah, we were just like, hey bro, like you guys have Discord? Could we play Halo with you? And then it's just a nice story because, you know, that's what, like, basically, like, I wanted to be more invested in Halo instead of just playing COD. So like yeah, once that happened, we got their, like, you know, we got their Discord and we started like talking like on Discord. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Like, you know what I'm saying, we're talking to two pros, like,
Man.
you know, or two top pros at the time, because, you know, they just won that event, so like they're the crown champions. But yeah, we ultimately like got to meet them, and then obviously, like, you guys know that, you know, Jesse teamed with Ant or Shotzi and Falcated, but he was like friends with Shotzi, and like he just mentioned it one day, like when we were in Discord, he was just like, hey Donnie, like, you guys know Shotzi? I'm like, oh yeah, we heard of him. Why, what's up? He was like, we're best friends with him, bro. I was like, no, you guys are not. You guys are not best friends. You guys are lying. And then yeah, I mean, the rest is history. We ended up like going over. I was like, oh my god, I'm meeting, like, you know, Shotzi. You know, like, not a lot of people meet Shotzi, by the way, but like, you know, I met Shotzi at the time. Like, this was like 2021. It was just, he's an amazing guy, humble guy. Yeah, I mean, it was just a cool time. So I started playing Infinite for fun, right? Like, mind you, I remember I was like talking to Jesse and Mike. I was like, bro, when Halo comes out, like, are you guys gonna play with me? Like, are you guys gonna play with us? Like, me and Drew and, like, you know, the triplets. But like, they're like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, we're good. Mind you, when I played Halo 5, I got my name decently out there. I remember playing ranked and stuff like that. You know, I got first place, and then my alt account was second place. So I was a grinder.
Huh.
I wasn't really that good. I wasn't really that smart. I was actually like really like just dumb. Yeah, Mikey. I literally asked Mikey, or my obviously my teammate now, or Soulslime. I literally asked Soulslime, I'm like, yo, Mikey. I was like, if I asked you, like, then, right at the moment at Halo 5, like, would you have team with Suppress? Like, would you team with this guy in the future or whatever? He said, hell no. I was like, wow, like that? You gotta put it down like that? Like, no, like, no, bro. Like, nah, I would say no or something. Like, he didn't even try to. He said, hell no. So I was like, kind of hurt. I was like, wow, whatever. So that happens, and I thought I was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Individually, at least. But I mean, I was pretty just like brain. Like, I didn't really know the game because I came in so late with Halo 5. But I was grinding it like from 2019 when I barely got into college. Didn't do my homework, dropped out of college, and it was just a mess.
I mean, I'm glad that you went into a lot of these deep stories about like how you got into gaming, because this all started with Hunter asking you, how did you get into gaming and how did you get your gamer tag? And I feel like we've skipped a few steps along the way. We've gone all over the place.
You're right.
Well, so we're gonna try to rein it in a little bit.
Let me ask real quick, because that was incredible, dude. I mean, that's why we record the podcast. We love to hear the stories from you guys. So love that. Let me just go back to that event in 2020, the Anaheim LAN, where Drew wasn't even supposed to go, wins the free for all. That's how you guys meet Jesse and Falcated, Booba and Falcated. Was this when you guys got into MLG and competitive Halo? And it sounds to us like those would have been your biggest inspirations. And I think that story really resonates with us because Eli and I had to do crazy wild things to get pros to want to play with us. But you guys did it a pretty badass way and just winning your way into a lobby, it sounds like, with Booba and Falcated. We hear so much talk about gatekeeping in the Halo community, but it sounds almost to me like these guys opened up the door and at least the Discord for you.
Mike and Jesse, they did their job to get us in the scene. Mind you, we didn't like, bug them, like to try to like talk to us every day. No, they just like were willingly to talk to us because like, well, for one, like we're a triplet, so they found that pretty cool. And then like we used to watch other streams and stuff, so it was a great feeling. And then like obviously like when you get in the scene, you meet the best pros in the world. I got to play with Brad or Frosty. I had to play with Trippy in one of the events with Brad. So it was a cool feeling, meeting all these different pros. And I remember the way I got into actually in a Pro 8's lobby, Mike didn't want to play, or Falcon didn't want to play. I'm seeing Snakebite, Rotu, Stellar, Eco, Renegade, Frosty, or something like that, right? I'm talking about like the best pros like in the world. Actually, I think Jesse was actually in lobby, so like it was like 7, and then makes me 8 with Mike saying no. He was like, no, just let Suppress play. So I play, and like I actually did pretty good in that lobby, and like it felt good, getting the reps in the actual like high level lobby. They're throwing you in the dirt, in the where the dogs are. They're just throwing you out there, with no practice.
Mhm.
No one going over Halo with me. But yeah, it was a great feeling.
You're new to Halo in the sense that you just got going in the last less than 4 years or so. But man, your story about how you broke through is very much how you would have broke through in 04, much less 2024. So that's really cool to see. You find any way you can to get into one of those Money 8 lobbies is what they're called now. Or
Right.
customs back in the day, like we used to play with Walshy and the Ogre Twins and all those guys. But you get a chance in one of those lobbies and you play well. That's how you get your start in competitive Halo. And that sounds like that's how you got your start in competitive Halo. Let me ask though, going back to the triplets, who was the best between the three of you? Was it Diagram? Because he won that free for all.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, like Drew is actually like really good. I mean, uh, the difference between me and him is that he actually didn't have a PC. He didn't save enough money to buy a PC, and we knew that playing Infinite, you need to have a PC that had the best performance, gameplay, with everything really. He was playing on my Xbox Series X, and I thought at the time was like a good idea to play on it. So I just like let him borrow it. But like when you're playing Halo Infinite, you can have 240 frames, and the Xbox Series X only gives you 120. So I don't know how to explain it. He just stopped grinding because of that reason. Andrew was actually like the best between all of us at that time going into Halo. But
What about Avenue? We haven't talked about Avenue much at all. I mean, it seems like he plays the least out of you guys, at least now for sure.
the funny thing is that when Halo Infinite came out, like Eric, he used to work at this job named Northrop Grumman. So essentially, what you do there is build airplanes for the military,
Wow.
like Blackbirds. Like we're talking about top secret stuff. But like basically, he was working there, and before then, he was actually playing like just like us, just like regular gameplay. Eric didn't. He had no bother to go to that Halo Reach FFA event, so he was just like, no, I'm not going. Like we're good. But coming into Infinite, we actually teamed, me and Avenue.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it was me, Avenue, Claim, Aperture. We were just four guys, 4 kids that actually like wanted to just grind, and like we were actually a team. Like we didn't shade anyone to go with each other. We were actually a team that actually was decent, a hitter squad, I guess you could say. So we go to the event, and I think at the time, I think Row 2 got banned, so it's just like the Sentinels had to go through open, to get the champ bracket. We get through everybody. We get through what we have to do, right? But before we go to champ bracket, we face Xset, and it was I think it was Kratos, Spectre, Filthy G, and Porky J. And like we know, like these guys, they're a professional team. They're screaming pro teams as well. So, and we 3-0 them. We literally 3-0 them with ease. I'm like, wow. Like I think Suspector is the only one who was fighting back. I mean, he was clearly the best on that team. After that happened, they actually asked Eric. Like I know you guys are saying like, Eric wasn't in the scene and stuff. They actually asked Eric the team, which is insane because like. I thought I was good. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought I did good, but like I
You
guess
took that
not.
personally.
You thought you get
Okay.
a call.
So basically, like I'm forever grateful for this too. Eric like said like nah, like I don't think I want to do it. Like I believe he said something to like Kratos or Suspector, like whoever hit him. I think it was Kratos though. He was like, yeah, you should pick up Suppress. So like one day I go over to my mom's. I'm just like, you know, like normally I'm just trying to see my mom because like I live with my girl now, obviously in the same room for like 4 years. So I go to my mom's house. I'm just chilling, laying down on the couch, and I'm like, I get a message from Kratos. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, in my mind, I'm just like, you know, I'm just some random guy named Suppressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's Kratos that got, you know, I don't think he won the worlds, but like he got second or something. Like he got
Yeah.
multiple seconds and stuff. So he's got his name out there with, including Suspector. He's like, hey, bro, what are your plans for the season? I'm like, nothing. Like, I don't really have like nothing going on right now. You trying to team? I was like, wait, are you being serious? I literally said, are you being serious? Like I don't know why I said that, but I'm kind of like shocked right now. He was like, yeah, bro, you trying to team? LMAO. Like he was just like making fun of me. But yeah, so ultimately I team with him. You know, the rest is history with Kratos and Suspector in that team. So
Yeah, it looked like from a competitive standpoint, your initial breakout tournaments were close to the beginning of Halo Infinite. You were able to crack into the top 12 of some of those open series. You also competed in a lot of the Chipotle Challenger free-for-alls, which is cool to see with that backstory with the Halo Reach free-for-all in Anaheim 2020. What was your initial thought process during this era that you just spoke on a little bit? You seem to be just entering as many tournaments as possible. Was that just in an effort to get your name out there? And it sounds like maybe even more so solidify it in the scene?
yeah, I mean that Chipotle FFA. For me personally, I just try to play it so I can like, you know, build my name up, build my brand. It's actually funny that you mentioned it because like I think that was the last FFA that I've ever played,
Oh.
like in the actual FFA tournament. But I came in first. They gave me a lot of incentives for that third place. I'm not bad, not first. I came in third. I mentioned it first because I was in the lead like 21-19, and then like my screen like crashes, it pauses like fully. Like I'm seeing my DMR not move, like or my BR not move. I'm just like, what is happening? It unpauses. I'm like, I move my thing, like it goes crazy for a second. Like it's looking left and right for like a quick second. That's how like cheeks my PC was. So I get back in it. I get third, whatever. I went 7,500, I believe, and then it was like $1,500 for Logitech stuff that you can like vouchers. It was 3 vouchers of 500, and then you can order whatever you want. One of the vouchers actually didn't work, so I'm still kind of pissed about that. But I ended up buying this my backpack. All right, you guys see my backpack, but I ended up like buying the Astro backpack, my first ever backpack. You know, professional backpack, whatever. You want to play FFAs to get your name out there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just a good start if like you're being gate kept. You know what I'm saying? If like you're a talent and you're really good. So
That's pretty much what I had to do, man. I feel like everybody was. I mean, Hunter alluded to it earlier, but I ended up making like a fake pro tag, pretending to be a different pro, and then like beat some pros in matchmaking. Had them like, "Yo, it's Pac-Man. This is my new tag. Add me." And then like fooled a few pros to add me to their list and got into FFA lobbies. Started beating them. Eventually, showed up to a tournament and got like 4th place in one of the FFA tournaments. So yeah, I kind of had to force my way in some maybe not so great ways, but sounds like a lot of people like you have similar stories. Love to hear that. Moving ahead around, I guess, Orlando 2022, you were competing in the open bracket. This was a tournament before the first World Championship for Infinite. You come out of the open bracket and you finish top 8. What do you attribute to making that jump from kind of the top 12 finishes you were having before?
Really, from top 12 to top 8 is just the team who plays better and the team that doesn't scam as much. That's like basically what top 12 to top 8 is. And then when you get from like top 8 to top 6, it's just like now it goes in levels. It's like better skill, better small talk, and then from top 4 to top 3 is just like, you know, don't scam, like play good,
make the least mistakes, basically.
And then, you know, top 1 and top 2 is just like basically perfect, like good game, like really good breaks, really good gameplay. So that's pretty much how that went.
Yeah, so despite the open bracket in Orlando and then the Halo World Championship where you placed 8th, which I thought was huge for you guys, that Fnatic roster was not very well respected. Nobody was really fearful of that squad going into that tournament. I don't think many had them in the top 8, so that was a big jump for you guys. But despite that jump, Arlington of last season, you guys are in the open bracket once again, or you specifically are in the open bracket once again, and still find a way to advance to top 8. I think, in my opinion, is one of the greatest signs of a great player is someone that can consistently make it out of open into something like the top 8. Like, it really shows that it's not a fluke. It's extremely difficult to do just once. So to do it twice, I mean, that's a lot of Halo being played that weekend. What was the key to that?
When you want it as bad as like your teammates, and you're striving to be one of the best Halo players in the world, or if not the best, you try to get your teammates on board with that too. It's definitely a process. Like, other people don't start off as good, or they're not as like, they're not as good as you. But when you talk about stuff, and you want your teammates to do this, and you want them to be better, it's just like you can go far with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're an M and you're trying to get on the team, you're consistently switching players off of like one match of an online qualifier. You're never gonna do anything. You're not gonna see instant progress. You're not gonna, go far, because like people are gonna either see you as a shader, right? So that means right then and there you're probably gonna get dropped from the scene. Number two, you're not gonna see instant success. Given, obviously if there's 4 great players, you can, but number 3, if you are playing and you're not trying to get your teammates better, it's just like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like whenever I play with my team, or whatever team I try to play with, I like asking questions. I like, hey, what did we do here? How did we do this? How did they break this? And when you talk about it as a team and you like continuously want to get better, you can go far. Kind of like how we're doing with Shopify.
Let's tie that gap together here, because then at the Halo World Championship year 2, you take another step from that top 8 finish in year 1 to top 6 with that Native Red roster that felt like might stick together in the offseason, because you guys showed so much promise and potential. Despite that, you guys would choose to split and join up with Soul Snipe as your duo alongside Mental and Cycle of Rebellion. What ultimately led to that decision?
Ultimately, I was thinking like, oh, same team, right? And then Preston hits me up. He was like, yo, what are you doing with your plans and stuff? And then like, I know Mikey messaged me personally. He's like, hey, like, anyone to hit you up on Shopify or something like that? And then like, we both start talking about it, right? And then like, we're both linked. You know what I'm saying? And like, we're like saying, did they hit him up too or something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're kind of like figuring out stuff. I had no clue, mind you. I was thinking like same team next year. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not the type of person to shade, you know what I'm saying, and drop people like that. And especially because like we're all really good players. Manny and Hunter are really great. Yeah. So that happened, and then like we get in a phone call, start talking about stuff. Ultimately, I think Nick made the decision of dropping Rain first for Soul Snipe. And then from there, I think Nick mentioned again, who could be the best fit for our team, and they chose me. So right then and there, like, we knew that we have a great squad between us. I think Shopify Rebellion they're a great team, with Ryan Noob and Rain. They beat us. I believe it was I think it was in Dallas or something like that, or Arlington. I can't remember, but they beat us like in pool play, and then we came back and beat them for like top 3. But we knew they were a great team. Like, I knew Billy was capable of being like really fucking good, or really good. At Worlds, he ended up with like a 1.4 or something like that, 1.3.
Jeez.
Like, I know he was out of the tournament for a top 8 finish or whatever, but like, I knew that he was really good. I know Preston, I teamed with him on Cole. Like, I know what he's capable of. He's really good too. He's a really great player. Same with Billy. Us combining forces to like make this team was actually like a really great decision. We don't give props as much like as we do to Nick, but him, I'm sure like, Preston and Billy are really appreciative of the decision that he's made. But that was, that was one hell of a decision, dropping Rain and Rynoob, and like us doing these high placements. We don't know what we're gonna do next event, but it's going from 4 to 3 to God only knows. You know what I'm saying? It could be 2 to the first place, but I don't know. But props to Nick for making this team.
Yeah, how would you say Best Man has like influenced you as a player since you've joined the team?
Nick is always on my behind, man. He I love him. He's like my older brother, actually. He just treats me. I'm not gonna say bully or anything like that, but he's like consistently always on my behind every single game. Like, yo, Donnie, what did you do here? Donnie, what did you do here? I'm just like, I did this, I did that. It's like, yeah, Donnie, you didn't have to die here. You didn't have to like get averaged. And then like I'm just like, yeah, you're right. I could have just waited a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But Nick, he gives all his input to not only me, but to equal amount as my teammates. Yeah, I mean, he just gets me better. He knows like timing just as much as we do. So it's great to have him as a coach because he knows exactly how Halo's played, even regardless if there's G sliding or running or not. But he knows exactly what's up. So
I was gonna say, just like to dive into what makes this team so special a little bit. You and Soul Snipe, but would you consider Soul Snipe kind of your duo on the squad since you guys came from the prior roster together? Do you feel like there's some kind of special chemistry between you and Soul Snipe?
man, I love that guy. Native Red. He's just a great teammate, great guy. You know, he's always like wanting to talk to his teammates about what we do wrong. Like especially like come Friday, right? Like you lose, you don't go to winners. We're starting from losers. He'll give you a great motivation to speak. Yo, like let's go hard as Donnie. Like let's like dig deep. You know, do this, do that, not make mistakes, and like I appreciate everything that he's done for me. Also, I want to like mention that Manny had actually mentioned to get me on the team. So I actually appreciate Manny very much, giving me throwing a chance on me on Native Red. I know Bohm, they got a top 4 finish and like in top 8, but he's a really great player too. But yeah, Manny actually got me on that squad. And then, teaming with Mikey is he's a fast player. He's really aggressive. Sometimes like I can be slow, but I'm just as aggressive as him. I do a lot for him, and he does a lot for me, and we expect a lot of each other. So he's a great player.
Sounds like he kind of holds you accountable, keeps your head on straight. If you're maybe losing focus, always look for that in a teammate for sure. Let's talk about Cycle for a second because he was not far behind you on the KD chart, but he was well ahead of you on the kills and assists over deaths chart, and he seems to always be putting up insane numbers. I mean, the both of your damage output is unbelievable. He's topped the charts in assists at a bunch of lands on a bunch of different teams. What's it like teaming with him? Do you feel like he maybe opens the map a lot more for your playstyle?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you see Preston, you immediately have to like work around him. You know what I'm saying? He's always consistent in the fights. We actually sometimes have to tell him like, "Yo, slow down, Preston. Like, don't stop G sliding." You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Preston's a great teammate. He finesses really well. He gets his skills. I mean, I think the difference between me and him, obviously with that kill leaderboard, is that like, I think like I take my 1v1s like better. He does his teamwork as in like, if we're around him, he gets better kills. You know what I'm saying? He gets a lot of kills if like we're working around him, and he just kills them all. You know what I'm saying? For me, I like get my one. I take the space. They keep getting my ones. I'll get my kills like that. But yeah, I mean, I think Preston, he's a great player. He has better teamwork than me for sure, and he's always getting more damage than me. I'll just admit it. I know I'm a damage dealer, but like that guy, I don't know how or what he's doing on the map, but he's probably sitting in credit corners, just like getting certain angles, like just getting damage out. But I love teaming with Preston.
I guess from a commentator analyst perspective, it seems like you're more likely to be in 1v1s, also more likely to have power weapons, which maybe that's why you end up with less assist than him. Whereas I feel like his playstyle is literally to just deal as much damage as possible in every situation. Like if he enters a room and there's 3 opponents in front of him, and he knows that one of you guys are nearby to follow up, like he's going to try to get 2 or 3 shots in all the players in front of him so that you guys can come clean up the play afterwards. And to be honest, I tried to play like that. I'm not even close to as good as this guy because if I play against him, I can't even kill him a single time. But like I try to embody that play style. Like I just want to make the game easier for my teammates to play. And I feel like that's kind of his mentality as a player. Plus he's really good at like holding space, especially when I watch you guys in like recharge strongholds, for example. I feel like he just knows how to like finesse an elevator for like 5 whole minutes, just not dying, just holding down that entire part of the map so you guys can predict spawns a lot easier. I love watching both of you guys play. You guys really complement each other's play styles.
Thank you, Eli. I appreciate that.
Yeah, speaking on that team composition you guys have, we actually noticed while casting some of your games early on in the offseason that Rebellion was one of the first official teams of 4. Was that a strategic choice for you guys to get in as much practice and game time as possible before going into the first LAN? And based on your previous answer about Best Man, it sounds like he was a big reason why you guys were able to form so efficiently and quickly and have that head start. What were your thoughts?
That boot camp, it was just strictly we're watching different VODs. Or we're actually watching like Cole's scrims. Any team that's like scrimming basically, like Druck or like Hunter, like they're streaming scrims. So like we're consistently learning about what they want to do on the map, and like we're learning about how we can counter it. You know what I'm saying? And then with Nick, whenever we're playing scrims, he's always giving his input, and then like he would bring it up on theater on a big screen TV, and then he's like going everyone's POV. He's like consistently giving everyone's input, like, yo, go here instead of here, and then Donnie, go here, do this, do that. So Nick plays a huge part on why we're having a lot of success right now. So
Yeah, I think having one of those OG legends behind you is one of my thesis or part of it for the best coaches in Halo. I think Royal One is maybe an exception to that. I think he's of the guys who weren't necessarily legendary players on the sticks, probably one of the best coaches though in the game. But if you look across Optic, for example, with Lunchbox, SSG with Elamite, and I think Rebellion with Best Man is part of that same conversation. And I think it's exciting for Best Man, right? He's pursuing his first LAN win alongside with you guys. He had a lot of success in MLG competition, but he never actually won his first LAN. And I know that was a big driving factor when we had him on the podcast for the first episode. He mentioned that a lot. Like, I'm still going for my first win, and that always resonates with me because we've been in it now for 20 years, and man, to be hunting for that win for 20 years, that's a long time to be going at it. So, big ups to Best Man. Moving along the timeline though, at HCS Arlington, you guys ended up with your best placing yet to start HCS Season 3. You guys continued climbing that ladder all the way to 4th place, but you guys were just 2 kills away from a Game 5 against FaZe that could have had you guys maybe even having a look at the trophy. Was that moment heartbreaking? Was it exciting because it showed the potential promise for you guys and you guys had achieved your highest placing? A little bit of both. What were your thoughts and feelings then?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely both actually. When we lost, it just felt like we just felt like down on ourselves. We kind of just talked about it. They actually so Snakebite didn't actually, like, on that Game 5, Snakebite didn't actually flank or anything like that. He got a PD spawn while we were all back A in A-Gen. So it was just like we didn't feel as down when I talked to Snakebite. Like, we were in the lobby and I was getting ready to go to my Uber to my flight. He actually told me, he was like, yeah, bro, I didn't actually flank. I spawned PD somehow. I was like, how? And we had a guy planners, 2 guys back A, and a guy A-Gen, like aimbotting and stuff. But that made me feel a little bit better because, like, obviously, like, spawns are then at least were like messed up. So we didn't feel as bad. And then it definitely shows a lot of promise, coming, forming this team and, moving forward, that we know what our potential is.
Then after this event, you guys go on an insane heater in the online split between Arlington and London, making it to the grand finals in every single one. You also took down some of the best teams, forming almost a mini rivalry with SSG after so many matches. Different talking heads were saying that it's just online. Do you feel like this was just maybe a big growth period for you guys? Did something start to click? Or what do you think led to that big rise in that online right after Arlington?
We want to win. I'm saying we all want to get better as 4 guys that are like, new, or like not like OGs like Royal 2, Snakebite, Stellar, Eco, all these guys, Lucid, all these guys, but we're just 5 guys that just want to win. We're all passionate about winning, so it's a great feeling, definitely.
Yeah, that is really interesting when you mention, I guess the big 3, part of the reason they're the big 3 is because they have that experience. They're all OGs and modern day Halo goats in their own right. So talk about on LAN, their level of performance. They have just a different level of ice and calm in their souls because of the time that they've spent on the main stage on Sunday. So I think for you guys, it was a huge experience to get to Championship Sunday. I know you took some hard L's on Sunday, but I don't know, man. I think you can't spell learning without the L, and I think you guys are going to learn a lot from that, especially, again, with the support of Best Man. Talk about how the meta shift has affected you guys, because you guys started to what feels like set the pace and tone for how Halo Infinite in Season 3 of HCS was going to be played.
I'm not gonna lie, when we first started teaming, we were definitely slow. Like we didn't hit timing as much, but forming as a team, we got used to our playstyles. So when I see Preston running, you know what I'm saying? Like I immediately know what to do. When I see Mikey doing this, I know exactly what to do. You know what I'm saying? So it helps out a lot when you consistently play with them. You know exactly what their tendencies are and then what they want to do on the map. So
You guys have definitely been setting the tone and continue to push the pace. I mean, when you guys play SSG, it's something special to watch, man. You guys are just flying around the map at like Mach speeds and just pivoting each other, just doing the craziest shit nonstop. I mean, I feel like it's the fastest place Halo we've ever seen when you guys match up against them. So I can't wait
Yeah.
to see more of it for sure. We actually had Boo Boo Doo, your good friend, on the podcast recently, and we've been doing this thing where like the previous person on the podcast can ask the next guest a question. So we said, Jesse, if you had Suppressed on the podcast, what would you ask him? And he told us to ask you, what would have the triplets plus Boo Boo Doo team have placed if they went to a LAN tournament?
I mean, for me, I'm always thinking to take number one. So I think with the telepathy that I have with my teammates or my brothers, and I'm not gonna bash on it, but they don't calm as much. But I know exactly what they're shooting at, and like we have good teamwork. I mean, we've seen it with like money scrims, money eights. I'm consistently playing
Online
Childs with
tourneys,
Destiny.
there's always a triplet, two of the three triplets plus two, a
Right.
Boo Boo Doo Boo Frosty, and you guys are winning every single time. So,
Right.
I
So
mean,
like I mean with Jesse, I think by him asking that, I think we will go far. At least we'll be in the top 4 conversation for sure consistently, and then like who knows, we take it. You know what I'm saying?
so Jesse, in his response, actually said top 6, and then thought about it later and said top 8. I don't know, man. Is Boo Boo Doo Boo hating or what? He just doesn't have the
a
same
winner?
confidence.
Does
bro.
he want to
Like,
win? Nah, I think
does
he's
he
saying
not
that.
want to win?
I think he's saying that because I mean Eric has a day job, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if he's saying it because of that, but I know Eric has a day job and Drew, he works at Amazon. So, it's not really like fully professional Halo players. I mean, if you're going to quit your job getting paid 32 an hour or something like that from SpaceX, it's like you have to go pro. I mean, if I know my brothers are putting night and day VOD sessions, playing Halo for multiple hours, I think for the most part we'll get top 4 for sure, consistently.
That'll do it for our long form questions. We're going to wrap up the podcast with some quick cues. These are meant to be short answers. You can use one word or as many as you'd like. We'll just get right into it. What are your settings in Halo Infinite?
I actually bring it up right here. It is, I believe it's 110 FOV. 110 FOV, 131 on the dead zones. What was the other one? Was it acceleration? Oh, it's 466.
Boo Boo plays 4-3-6, right? Is that?
Boo Boo, he plays on 4, like,
I
he
think
plays literally
4-5-6.
similar. Yeah, he plays so much similar like
it was.
to mine.
Yeah, it was. I remember that because you said it'd be easy to remember because it was 4, 5, 6. Speaking of 4, who's on your Halo Mount Rushmore?
Oh my god. I don't think about individual. I think about like who's got like the most wins in Halo. So I'd put Snakebite up there. I'd put Ogre 2 for sure because he's got literally thousands of wins. But I put Ogre 2. I think it'd be wrong if I didn't put Ogre 1 up there. I'd put his twin brother up there because that's his brother for sure. This is tough. But I'd put Walshy up there too.
What's been your favorite weapon throughout Halo?
Definitely the S7 sniper for sure. I mean, I love the sniper. Didn't they change the audio for the sniper? Like it sounds like the H5 sniper. Remember? Do you guys remember that? Like they changed the audio for it or something like
I
that.
don't know if they did.
The sound design is amazing in this game.
Yeah, but I definitely love the S7 sniper. I mean, other than your primary weapons, I think that's one weapon that I forever I feel happy when I grab the sniper. I'm having fun. You know what I'm saying? So.
And would that be Infinite? You feel as the most closely tied to the sniper you have the most fun with? Which Halo in particular?
In general, in Halo, or just like the
With
weapon?
the snipe.
Oh, with the snipe, I think This is crazy what I'm about to say this, but I think H2A, like, it was too easy to snipe in that game.
That's
Like,
why,
I
yeah.
love that sniper. Like, that's why it was like, that's why I like that sniper too.
Who's been your favorite duo throughout your time competing?
I never really had a duo. I think, like, obviously until Native Red, like, I think, quote unquote, like, if I had a duo, I think for sure it'd be Mikey. Mikey has been there for me. You know, he picks me up when I'm down. You know, he talks to me what I need to work on. I talk to him what he needs to work on. Like, we both respect each other a lot. So I think if my duo now, it would be Mikey. Like, if I had a duo for sure. Because growing up on these teams when I was growing up, I actually never brought anyone along with me. I was just like always alone. Space Station exit, like I would get dropped, picked up, dropped, picked up. It's just like me on my own. And it's like maybe you have to go through those obstacles in order to get a duo, you know what I'm saying? In order to like to make your name, make your brand and like, yo, this guy's actually good, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I landed on Native Red, and then, you know, that's ultimately how I got my duo. So definitely Mikey.
On the other side, who's your favorite rival? Who do you love to compete against?
Oh man, I have a couple. It's definitely Bound and Renegade. I mean, we always talk crap about each other, um, day in and day out. I mean, even before I was on this podcast, I was just like, I was talking crap to John, like, nah, bro, you're like so cheeks, like, you know, like that tournament we just played. Like, I was just mentioning, like, damn, bro, I had to carry you. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm like talking crap as in like, man, it's hard being the best Halo player in the world. Like, I'm talking crap so he could say something, and he always says something that, yeah, bro, getting third, bro. Like, you're always getting third. Like, I'm like, whatever, bro. Like, you could have it. You could have that title, I guess. Like, whatever.
Love that. A little friendly banter. It's not only something that the fans love, pros love it too. So love to see that. Throughout Halo's history, what's been your favorite Halo title?
I think for the most part, it would have to be Halo Infinite. I think like I didn't have enough time for all these Halo games. I think for Halo Reach, it's like equivalent to like Halo Infinite because I played that for like 2-3 years. But like right now, my favorite Halo game is probably Infinite for sure.
Oh, fair enough. I think Infinite's come a really long way, and in year 3 of the game, it's really at a great point. Wish it would have launched like that. It would have been, I think, great for the game's trajectory. But Halo Infinite in its current form is a blast to play. Lastly, as we wind down the podcast, what has been your fondest Halo memory?
Okay, so when I was on Exit, like this is like how I know like when people are real like cool people. Like just outside the game, I know stuff happened, but like on Exit, me and Uriah or me and Artie got like on an argument, and they at the time they had a boot camp inside the event with like black curtains. I don't really remember, but I don't know if you guys remember.
Anaheim.
But like, yeah, it was Anaheim. Mind you, I'm not one to start like an argument or anything, but he like started talking, you know, crap and stuff, and he actually made me cry. Like I went all the way in back of the venue so no one could see me. And I was just like eating like this like bar, this candy bar or something. And then Kratos actually like saw me. He like walked down from the boot camp area or whatever, and he saw me. He walked all the way down. He's like, "Hey, bro, like I'm sorry that you had to deal with him, dude. Because like you know he's definitely tough, but like don't worry about it, bro. Like you know just just keep doing you, bro. You're fine. You know, don't worry about like what he said. You know, you're the best in the world. Like you know, keep doing you, bro. You know, don't worry about it. And like I wish like we're like as Halo players, like when you see someone like that, I know they're my competitors or like my teammates and stuff, but like if we were like more real, like as a human, had like more feelings and stuff like that. I don't know how to explain it, but like that'd be better. Cause like I don't just view my competitors as competitors. I view them as like you know friends too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Was Kratos on your team at the time when this happened?
Yeah,
Or?
he was on Xset with me, and yeah, he just picked me up when I was down. It's crazy because like usually like your girlfriend does that or something like right like my girl sees me like you know what I'm saying like sad and down like especially when I'm like I lose like you know I got third or whatever, she texts me right away like, hey babe, don't worry about it, you know you did great and stuff. But like for him to do that, come out of his way and walk all the way down from like one end to the other, it's just like it felt great. Like it warmed my heart up a bit. Like I saw him differently other than like you know competitor. I know like stuff happened after that. You know, I got dropped and stuff, but that was just like one of the memories I have in Halo for sure.
Wow, very cool, and thank you for sharing with that with us. Those are the types of stories that I know the community really appreciates hearing. It makes us feel like we're a lot closer, not just to the gameplay that we see on the screen, but to the person behind it, to the person on the sticks. As with every episode's ending, we like to give you a chance to shout out anyone special or any last thoughts that you want to get out there. The floor is yours.
Anyone that's like followed me out throughout my journey, you guys are the realest ones for sure. If you guys have been keeping up since my journey, since exit, I appreciate you. And then I also want to say thank you, you know, not only the fans but my brothers keeping me up there, my girl and my parents keeping me afloat, get me where I'm at. So, and Shopify Rebellion and my teammates.
That'll do it for another episode of Tide the Leader. Want to give a huge thanks to Suppressed for coming on, sharing his story, rising through the Halo ranks, all the way from that fateful LAN tournament in Anaheim where his brother wasn't even supposed to go with him. So very cool to hear the origin story all the way to what the future looks like for yourself and Shopify Rebellion. Eli, as we close out, any final words from you, my friend?
No, I just want to say thanks for coming on the podcast, Donnie. I've been a big fan of watching you play and seeing what you do all the time. I was curious, is this your first podcast or have you done one of these before?
Nah, this is my very first one, so I don't know. I don't know if I did bad or not, but I mean, I just, you know.
Oh, I loved it, dude.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's definitely like a kind of awkward experience. It's all about you, like spotlights on you kind of thing. Hopefully we didn't make it so bad. What was your experience like on your first podcast?
I mean, I was definitely kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie. But I appreciate you guys. You know, like appreciate you guys for having me on here and you know, getting my name out there. You know, getting the flowers that, you know, like you guys said, I deserve. So it was good.
The friends that formed in 2019. Oh my! What? All over for Suppressed, the new kid on the block, making impactful plays, and he just learned that the world champions bleed red. We're going to a game 5. What